what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of UCC in the House, Utah Cannabis Club. You know what it is. Actually, let me rephrase that. JJ, what is it?
Utah Cannabis Club. You know what it is.
Hold on. We might need to do it a third time. What is it?
UCC,
what it is. There we go. It kind of took me a little bit, and I think it took JJ just a little bit too. But
Shit.
But we out here, man.
Welcome,
we are here with the
gentlemen.
boys, man. It's Sep on the mic.
Wes?
And this is JJ.
Gabe out here with the boys.
Sheesh.
And yes, we are pre-lit, just in case you know.
Yep. Enjoying ourselves.
Some
We got.
advisors.
Hey, Sep, you got a new product for us to be reviewing a little bit on today.
Oh, snap. I do.
What you bring us, boy?
Today we have the vaporizer Da Vinci Micro C. This is one of their smaller portable vaporizers. It comes in I have a yellow one right now, a little kind of gold titanium. Comes with an already installed battery on the inside.
Sick.
And for those of you that don't know, vaporizers are what's legal in the Utah market. So we're just going to showcase and highlight some of it today and its use and its efficacy. It comes with a small chamber that you're able to fill in your flower.
How much can you fit in there? Like a gram?
I think you can fit a good gram in there, to be honest, like a good sized nug. It comes with an adjustable knob inside. I know you guys can't see. But if you go on YouTube, you can find it. It helps you to adjust the inside. Also, this is not an endorsement or a sponsorship from Da Vinci, but if you do hear this, Da Vinci sponsor us. Big shout out. You know, we love you guys' stuff. Like I was saying, it comes with a ceramic chamber that's able to heat. From one end, you can see where the suction comes. Connects straight to the portable holes
So
all the
good
way at the
airflow.
bottom. So good airflow, right?
That's awesome.
This compartment is able to come out, so you're able to clean it. You're also able to open this part up and recharge the battery on those rechargeable batteries.
Can I see that mouthpiece real quick?
Yeah, it actually comes off too, the mouthpiece, and it comes like with a little attachable accessory that you can kind of like suck
Can you
like a
put it
straw
on?
almost.
Can you put it on a bong? Like, is there any accessories so you can like?
You
put it
know,
on a water
that'd
pipe?
be crazy. That'd be crazy. I'm
Because
sure.
I had a handheld.
I'm sure.
That was a little bigger than this, probably about like that. I can't remember the name of it. And this is 2015 or something.
Damn, you had one.
And it had a attachment on it that you could screw right onto the top and put it to a 14 or 18 millimeter water pipe and
Wow.
get some good vapor hits out of
Hey,
a water
shout out
pipe.
that.
You know.
Oh my gosh, 2015 coming in hard,
crazy.
JJ. Let's go.
So yeah, dry air vaporizer, that's huge. And what product are we going to be putting in this?
We're just gonna be putting in a little bit of flour today. What is the flour that we're gonna be putting in today?
Malawi Sunrise.
Ooh, some Malawi
We're
Sunrise.
doing
That's
some
right.
Malawi Sunrise. I believe.
Ooh.
We're really excited about the Dragonfly company. They've been doing some really good stuff lately. Love their product.
Definitely.
Huge shout out to the cultivators out there doing their thing.
For
Would love to
sure.
have you guys on the podcast one day if you guys are listening in. Huge shout out to Cody and Micah doing
Shout out
great
you guys.
things. Love to have you guys on sometime.
And for those of you listeners out there, man, if you're not familiar with vaporizers, get yourself familiar with them. They're great. They're efficient. They're portable. The Da Vinci is just one of many companies out there.
What's the price tag? How much are we forking out for this?
You know, for this price tag, you're looking at around. That's a good question. I might have to look that up for you. I don't want to give you
I don't even know.
a ballpark real quick for
Might be
for the
some
followers,
sales too.
right?
You can always look out for
But
sales.
obviously,
when
one
there's dry
big
vaporizers.
plus with the dry air vaporizer is obviously the quality of smoke you're going to be
Right.
inhalating, right? So it's going to be a little bit
Well,
better.
you're not killing all your cannabinoids.
Yeah.
And
And look
Da
at that,
Vinci
man.
at
Yeah.
just $99.
You're just coming at just $99. You know,
100
it
bucks,
comes
so
easy to connect. It's one of the most portable ones right now in the market, in my opinion. Like I said, for the price point that you get with the quality
I
that
love
comes
the
out of it,
size of it and how it feels in your
It
hand.
feels in your hand. You know, you can like hold that really
Yeah.
tight, very discreet. You know, you
Yeah.
can cover if you really want to cover the lights up, even better.
Or if
when-
they have like a black color.
Yeah, the exhale on it is not too crazy. You know, the drag on it. When you're pulling it, you kind of feel it. You gotta let it set. It's kind of like sucking thick milkshake.
All right.
If I
Well, I'm
could
excited.
say,
Let's
you know,
test this
not
guy
a
out.
soft milkshake,
Yeah,
but I
load
would
it
say
up.
like a thick milkshake.
Load
Like
it
your
up.
So, guys, get your vaporizers out there. It definitely changes your palate, your smoke, your effects, your how you achieve your smoke. You're not flame to flower.
Yes.
You're not smoking it. What we mean by that is you're not lighting it on fire. There's other
Combustion.
methods. Yeah,
No
there's-
combustion.
Yeah, no combustion. What's the other company that's out there that one of our homies on the podcast uses?
Crafty.
Crafty.
The Stores and
Crafty,
Bickle. Stores and
yeah.
Bickle
Stores and
makes
Bickle.
tons of great products.
And if
Their
you
biggest
can't-
one that everybody knows about is the Volcano. You know, the one with the bag
There
it
you
fills
go.
up.
Right.
That's the same company that's making the best dryer vaporized products out there on the market.
I think
Sure.
the Crafty is part of their line.
Stores and
correct?
Bickle, yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Stores and
Crafty,
Bickle.
Venti, the Plenty.
There's a couple
the
of
Mighty.
different lines. And I think
Um,
that's like a great transition into what our episode's kind of talking about today on the consumption and the efficacy of the entourage effect. We hear it talked about all the time.
We've talked about it before, recently on the podcast.
Yeah.
Previously.
And behind the scenes, us boys, we continuously chat about the new discoveries that have been found on some of the minor cannabinoids that have been discovered and the implementations that they've been trying them and how they've been working for in the grand scheme of things.
Yes.
What are some of the ways that you guys have used or looked in? I gotta rephrase that. What are some of the ways that you guys do research on the minor cannabinoids? Because that's a big thing. A lot of people would love to do research on cannabis, but they don't know where to start. Do you guys have any good sources or any good websites that you guys go to? Like for me in particular, Google Scholar.
Yeah,
Google
that's a
Scholar is
huge one.
huge for me.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any other Patreons or any other even or Instagrams that you guys like for just information?
I mean, YouTube is always a great source.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Lots of great information on there. Most people that are talking about this stuff aren't there to spew bullshit. You know what I mean?
So like
They're
Smoke
trying
and
to
All. Do you guys have any other podcasts? that you
Yeah,
guys
for sure. I
recommend?
mean, one of the best things you can do is going online and looking up scientific research journals, looking up peer-reviewed studies on
Google Scholar.
Google Scholar.
All right, here I go testing the Da Vinci.
Yeah,
So,
Da Vinci, and for those that we're trying out the Da Vinci for sure. You know, it's the Utah market. And when you smoke it, man, it's about 4 to 5 seconds between each pull. You know, you kind of want to give it some time to let it bake on the inside. You know, you're kind of getting like an interesting taste when it comes to it. Other than that, I would say definitely try to get online and start looking it up. You know, there's different PubMed, Google Scholar, and specific cannabis research databases that provide access to a wealth of literature on
And
the
I think
subject.
the biggest thing you touched on is something like peer reviewed. I mean, we're in a day and age that so many states have many forms, and like we have a lot of states that are legalized in some form. So a big part of our system, like colleges and stuff, are starting to look at that. Like I'm somebody that went to University of Rhode Island for pharmacology school for cannabis. So it's a lot more mainstream than you think. So peer reviewed studies are very huge and very accessible.
Mhm.
To be honest, because there's
Yep.
a lot of colleges and like big named institutions doing cannabis studies and work.
Right.
It's a great point to point out. And that's what's so cool about being in today's day and time is how accessible all of this knowledge is to us. We all have so much at our fingertips where we can truly understand what we're interacting with on a day-to-day. And like, especially if you're trying to implement cannabis on a daily regimen for medicinal use, of course, like I'm a daily consumer. I consume daily for not only appetite but for sleep and so I have scoliosis in my back. So it also helps me with managing pain throughout my day.
For sure.
It's been a huge benefit for me in just the applications that I have for cannabis.
For sure.
All
All that THC, the helping to alleviate some of the anxiety, the CBD, all that inside the cannabis plant, right?
Yeah.
Providing that
Helping with
alleviation,
inflammation.
helping with inflammation, you know. If you're trying to find certain topics, you have conferences, you have events, you have books.
Keep on the lookout. As long
Go
as you're
find those
interested.
books, support those authors and those scientists that are putting out constant books. And they're out there, and you just got to find them. You just got to look for them. Online resources and websites, right? Dedicated to cannabis education and information. Don't be afraid to kind of tune into those articles. Sometimes they might seem a little long. They might seem a little boring. But education goes a long way.
And look locally for those events you're talking about.
They got webinars,
Conferences.
online webinars. Look online to find out how cannabinoids play a key role in your life, because as a state where we're moving towards legalization, it's important to know what you put inside, you know what I mean? Your medicine, inside your body, first and foremost. So, yeah.
No, definitely. And take a step back. What are you guys thinking about this Malawi?
It's hitting. Yeah.
Hey.
You guys can hit it a couple of times.
So-
It's going.
Yeah, it was like one thing I definitely noticed, like, is eventually, like you said, if you give it 5 or 6 seconds, you just give it a little break between, like, getting good. And we've passed it around a bit, so the battery's strong. And flower, what are some of the notes?
So
that you
I'm
guys are
getting like a light citrus. It has an undertone of like a florally, earthy. I get that really like early Malawi style bud taste. Like it's got like almost a pineapple-y-esque style when I say citrus. It's a really, really beautiful flavor. I like it personally.
Yeah, I would agree with the pineapple citrus side. But it's very tangy. It's got some tang.
Yeah, it's
to
got
it.
some tang to it.
Nice.
Another,
We're definitely going to pack another one for sure and kind of see as we smoke in the beginning, in the middle, vaporize in the middle, beginning, and end, and kind of just keep it going throughout the show, and kind of seeing how long the battery lasts, kind of giving it that good effects, that good quality and stuff like that.
Yes, and
So,
kind of going back to tying it in, like talking with cannabis and finding out if you're somebody that doesn't know, a big thing you can do is also talk to somebody about it. Right?
yes.
So like we did bring up webinars, looking online, and like that's all stuff you can do on your own time. But I mean, at the end of the day, we love when people talk to us, right? Like, we love to talk about it. And so anybody like that, healthcare professionals, obviously we're in a medical state, so getting anything with your medical card, seeing a QMP, qualified medical professional, would be
Opening
a
up a little
huge step,
bit.
because they're going to be the ones that can really link that understanding as well. And I think
100%.
having that human interaction is really big.
Oh man.
Big, it plays a vital role.
And that's one thing that I think is a huge.
Go to the doctor. Do you smoke
thing.
cannabis? you all know who you are. It's all good. And you know who you are too. You know what I mean? It's okay. We've all been in that position where like, no smoking at all. No.
Cannabis? What's that? No,
My lungs, 100% iron lungs, baby. You know what I mean? Junior high lungs right here.
That's
Come on
why
now.
when I see like, high times, 17% of the population smokes weed, I'm like, nah, there's more than that.
But what you were saying,
Mine is breaking the stigmatism that's around
And
cannabis.
normalizing it.
Yeah, normalizing it and
Talking about
actually making it known that you are interested in advocating for your personal health.
Right.
That's ultimately what it looks like in today's time. We know that pharmaceuticals are hard on your body. We know that your body can't take continuous abuse from certain prescriptions. Let's say that you're on clonazepam. If you're on clonazepam, you can only be prescribed it for 8 years.
What's that for?
It's for epilepsy.
Okay.
So to tie into that, my mom actually, and this ties into the entourage effects and how it's implemented her life.
My mom has epilepsy.
Yeah, my mom has epilepsy, and when she developed it, this is kind of a crazy story. My mom, she was like in the police force, so she worked at JCC, so she was a juvenile corrections officer,
Where we at
essentially
right
in
now?
Idaho.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, she's out there in Idaho, juvenile corrections officer, very, very Mormon upbringing. She did have a little bit of a wild side to her when she was growing up, of course. But when she started to experience all this stuff, she was extremely against cannabis.
Right.
She really didn't know how to go about taking care of herself in a holistic way. So when she first started getting prescribed all of her medications, when the seizures did start coming on, she was prescribed around 15 medication. And she was taking those 15 medications every day. And that is a huge load for your body to process.
From the side
Sure.
effect,
How can
another
you even-
medication for this side effect.
Yeah,
and
one
another
pill's
one.
for that pill, that pill's to balance that pill. Those
Yeah,
two pills together, you need this pill. Like, it's a domino effect. And my mom really got the brunt end of it. So she has been able to start implementing cannabis. And she now is roughly around 8 pills a day. And that's half the load of her body. And that's huge. That's absolutely phenomenal for my mom. You know, I couldn't ask for anything more.
Does she use
Shout out
cannabis
to mom.
every day?
Shout out to mom, for sure, man. That's such a huge deal to overcome. Learning how to find a way to make it work with your body at the end of the day is one of the biggest challenges, because you can't just base your body off someone else.
She
You know
uses
what I mean?
cannabis
How
every
you
day.
use
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
You know, it's
And
complicated.
And I would say being vulnerable to have that
But
experience.
this is
too.
one caveat. So she tries to use cannabis every day. There's sometimes months that she has to go without cannabis,
Why is that?
and it's because she's in Idaho. So when she can come out and spend time with me, she can consume cannabis.
Idaho, get with the
You know,
times,
and
y'all.
she
Come
comes
on
out
now.
and she spends time with me, so she gets to implement it for a while.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, like,
That's what's hard about Idaho. It's like one of the last that will.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, they have a very strict legislation over cannabis for no good reason. There's so many people that could benefit from it
100.
inside of Idaho. All those old farmers, their bodies hurt too, bro.
Yeah.
Their bodies hurt too.
Working
You
all
know?
day. Cannabis helps.
Yeah, it really
Well,
does.
it's just one of those things where you see like how like even that, right? Like, how long are you willing to restrict access to people for medicine?
Yeah, and like think about
right?
the veterans.
How long
there
are
in
you
Idaho.
willing to let people suffer, right? To keep them in that light of a shadow, to be like, man, I'm a good person, but my state makes me feel like a bad person.
Yeah.
If I cross over 50 miles that way, I'm
you
seen
can
as
get
a
your temple
patient.
recommend.
I'm
You
seen
can
as a
get your-
patient
Dude, you
in
can
the
get
eyes
your
of the
temple
state.
recommend and you're a patient.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just by crossing the border. Let's say that you lived in Income, you make a 45-minute drive, or like an hour, 2-hour drive. Let's say 2-hour drive, just to get across that state line. I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. It's very short distance. You're legal, and you can have a temple recommend. If you're in Idaho and you use cannabis and you're part of the Mormon religion, you'll get in trouble. You can
For
get
sure.
in trouble for it.
Yeah, you can get your temper, you know, and we're not saying, you know, we're not discouraging or encouraging. We're just saying, do your research. Know your stuff at the end of the day. You know, we're here to educate, and let me reframe that back. We are encouraging you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, when we talk about states like Idaho and stuff trying to get with the times, we really are trying to say get with the times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not fair that I once heard a story. I'm just gonna quickly side note. A gentleman, a veteran, came back from Iraq back in 2005. Resident of California, I think of San Francisco or Washington, came back from war, was receiving his med card, received his med card due to PTSD. After that, crossed state lines into another line, was pulled over for having his medicine on him, and slapped with a fine and served 5 years after that.
Damn.
That's awful.
But was only home for less than about 6 months. So you're talking about a war hero that was gone, that has only seen his wife for half the year, has now have to go serve, and then now come out and serve and become even more frightful of the system that he served. You know what I'm saying? So it's this is why we have these conversations. This is why the podcast exists, and this is why we are encouraging you guys to speak up about it here and there. When you have those discussions with your doctor, when you go and support that book author, when you go and hop into that webinar, when you go and consult with your physician, you open up those channels that allow people to converse. You know what I mean? So keep doing your thing, you know, and we appreciate you guys constantly keeping the ball rolling. You know, UCC is here to make that mark and continuously stand on it. So
bringing attention to what the potential of cannabis has. You know, that's what we're trying to hallmark right now. We
want many people as possible.
Yeah, holistic healing. We want you to heal naturally in a way that you feel not only empowered but comfortable and confident doing. You know, that's why we are here. We love the culture of cannabis, and this is something that sucks for the people that live in states that are still denying cannabis. Like Seb just said, there's war veterans that live in Idaho that are going through consistent pain and consistent pain. And like it's an awful story that you just shared. You know, when you really listen to it, this is somebody that threw their life on the line and got slapped in the face. You know what I mean?
Plant for medicine.
And it's something that their doctor has prescribed them.
Exactly, and that kind of brings us into the next topic of like set and setting. You know what I mean? We were just speaking on that earlier before we went live in the cast here, about the psychedelic world, and in relation to what we were just talking about with veterans and stuff, how they use their medicine and where they use their medicine, and how the everyday average citizen uses their medicine. Set and setting, man. Let's hear it.
Dude, set and setting.
It's a big aspect, and before the podcast we were talking about it, and then I was saying I'd never really thought about it with cannabis before, because like you said, with psychedelics, it's a huge aspect with psilocybin. You know what I mean? You want to be careful about where you're at and who you're with, and you know, the ambience, what's going on around you, and the energies around you, and do you feel comfortable? Do you feel safe?
Right.
You know, check the set, you know, of where you're at and the setting of how you feel, you know, or vice versa. But that's what
essentially what it is.
See, but I think that's a very interesting topic, especially when people have a stigmatism about their experience with cannabis and they have PTSD experiencing cannabis, right? So they already have a mental block in their mind where they're uncomfortable with the idea of being intoxicated from cannabis, right? They had a bad experience. Now their mind...
Intoxicated sounds so negative.
Hey, intoxicated because cannabis is still a drug.
Yeah, I know. It's just toxic, you know?
Intoxic.
That toxic and...
Write that like spell over it for sure. I hear you.
Yeah.
But I get both notions.
Yeah. I just don't know better terminology to
No, that's what's written on the jars, you know? That's what the state says.
So it is how I classify it too.
Yeah, no, nothing against that. I was just saying.
Yeah, it's still a healing medicine, and everything is definitely stemming from a whole place. It's not coming from that angle. You know what I mean? I got distracted.
Set and setting.
But yeah,
set and setting.
So set and setting. I mean, it's kind of breaking it down. It refers to what are you doing when you consume. And
set,
so,
right?
For one reference, are you just smoking out of like the same dryer vaporizer? Are you same concentrate at night in the same room from the same rig?
Gotta go put on your jacket. Are you cold?
Or are you taking the same edibles to go to sleep every single night? And it's just referring that like our body is going to like slowly adapt and get used to those things. And so when you're trying to get desired effects from cannabis, whether it's like pain relief, whether it's to relieve anxiety, it's actually really good to change your set and setting. So to go with other people if possible, right? Other close friends, other patients, or just changing your environment. So not being at home when you do it, finding legal and safe places that you can go consume.
For sure.
And being healthy about it, going on a walk, like you said,
Dude, consuming with friends. Like,
exactly.
It's a huge
social, lighting, music, adds to the
Yeah.
overall experience
You
of your consumption.
See what it
You
is.
know, like
Yeah, see what it is.
You know, for those of you that know from a first time experience to not a good experience to a good experience, you can differentiate what was the differing factors of
Right.
what made it good and bad.
You're right.
You know what I mean? You can be like, well, I was at home and you know I was smoking good, and then next thing you know, you consumed and you were unfamiliar, and it was just music that says a lyric, and you're like, oh my gosh, and now it sparks a flashback,
yeah.
right? So it's really being mindful. So for instance, when I consume, one of the first things I always like to do is I'll listen to music, because the music really does help. You know what I'm saying? The music does amplify that. Second is like the intention of when I'm smoking in that current moment. You know, am I smoking to find relief? Am I smoking to find recovery? And most of the time it is to find recovery. So I'll be outside hitting it and I'm like, yes, this is going to go towards my knee. Yes, this is going towards my back. Yes, this is going towards a certain part of my body that's going to help. And then third, it's the intention behind it, you know. What do you intend to achieve with this smoke overall, you know? And for me, it provides that overall healthy experience, not to rely on other medicines, not to burn my body with other chemicals on my skin that I might be sensitive to, having to take that extra step to go to the doctors, to spend hundreds of dollars for x-rays and stuff. And yes, that could save time, but in our current day and age where it's definitely hard to come by those things, the cannabis plant does help create a better set and setting for myself. So that's kind of an example for me. I know everyone's different. All the guys here all definitely have their own varying way, but change it up. Take an edible, take a half an edible. Concentrate, ask a friend who's in a concentrate. Hey, why do I get a rig?
No, exactly.
What's it like?
I think it's good to
Who's
highlight
jolly?
different forms, yeah. No,
Well, let me
definitely.
tell you, puff
Highlight
what?
all the different forms, you know, like switching between edibles, tinctures, you know what I mean, like the sublinguals, maybe nanotechnology if it's out there, I mean, if you have access to it, and then going back to some flour, going back to concentrate, and just going in between, because that's going to lead to more desired effects.
Chocolate candy cookie. Chocolate
Ooh.
something, some candy chocolate.
Oh,
if you make some
man.
chocolate edibles out there,
Take your flour and
legally
make some
or
edibles.
legally, let me know. Let us know. So set and setting, man, it's huge. And what I mean to like earlier and good and bad, it's like your first time trying it, right? When people try for their first time, it's usually not usually in a great place. And it's easy to remember your first time because it wasn't a good experience.
Yeah.
You know what I
Obviously,
mean?
first time is
First
you're bringing
time.
up first time, like already probably going into it anxious, not feeling the best.
Not feeling the best, you're
kind of
nervous.
is already telling you you're set and setting, right? Instead
Yeah.
of being with 3 other close homies
Right.
that you know.
You just stole your dad's like 8th, and you're afraid he's gonna whip your butt, so you're smoking, having anxiety at the same time, but you're happy.
Or you
You know
just
what I mean?
lost your job and you spent all your money on some weed and you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. You get smoking, you get all paranoid and shit. Like,
Right.
I don't
So,
know.
timing, place, talk to people, consult people that know how to take those breaks. People that were like, hey, I consume a lot. I have to go through find different ways to channel the cannabis. You know, if you need to exercise, if you cook on cannabis, don't just try to use the cannabis by itself. Find something to find assistance with it. Pair it with something, you know, and that's the beauty of the cannabis plant is it amplifies everything that you do, you know, which is really cool, you know, with and without it, you know,
movies,
it helps.
food, sex,
for sure.
everything.
100%.
Hey, dude,
So.
thank you, boys, for closing that loop for me. That's exactly where it was supposed to go.
100.
Because that's really what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
When you consume product that you've had a bad experience with, consume it with your friends. Do it with the hobby that you enjoy. Cook some dinner. Make some food for yourself. Have a meal prepared. You know, like have all your ingredients prepared. Get yourself ready. You know, consume and then take care of your task. Have it be your objective to take care of the task while you're in a transcendent state. Because that's what it is for me, especially when I cook.
Yes.
Cooking's huge for me.
And we love that, man. Shout out to the cooks that pairs so well. The way that it can just refine and increase, take away or add to your palate. It's crazy.
Hey, dude,
So-
funny topic. Let's talk about best way to consume RSO. Talking about hard to palletize things.
That was
You know
crazy.
what I mean?
Yeah, shout out to 710 the other day. I was mentioning it to the boys, pairing RSO with the foods, and it kind of seems like the popular vote amongst people was chocolate of some form or a base,
Banana.
that has a good
Banana was
starchy
big.
paired to it. You know what I mean? So
That
that
makes
was the
sense.
most popular, and it was very interesting to see because I, for one, have never taken RSO. I do intend on to take RSO in the future, so I'm super excited to see the advancement in that. You know, what if there's like a chocolate combination RSO, and when you pop the RSO, a drop of chocolate comes out with it too. So it's freaking,
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
like a dual type thing. I don't
like a
know.
tincture bottle
Yeah,
with
like a tincture
chocolate.
bottle with chocolate.
Gabe shaking his
Yeah,
head.
and it's like twisted together so you get pop at the same time. Do not steal my idea, and if you do, please,
Hey,
man,
Nobody wants
tag
that
me.
one.
Hey, I'm just saying though, you know, it's not for everybody like Gabe, you know, I'm just saying, you know, but you let me know if you got that $1 million idea for sure. RSOs, tinctures, flavoring, set and setting, you know what I mean? It all matters. So, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Set and setting, it matters. When you do psychedelics or when you consume anything, even like drinking. I would say drinking too. Don't be drinking out my mofos you don't like, for real.
Yeah.
Don't be smoking around people you don't, you know what I'm saying?
But also with what Wes was saying, switch it up. Switch your routine up.
Switch your routine
Uh,
up.
It doesn't make you're not used to the same thing every time. It's new. New experiences.
New experiences add to that because the familiarity creates comfortability.
Yeah.
Imagine going to a lot of people do that. They go home and they kind of get in this pattern. You know what I mean? Play with your dog.
It's still nice.
Interact
it
with
feels great,
your
but,
children.
like,
You know what I mean?
you can enhance it by just switching it up
Yes.
a tiny bit, and in multiple ways. Your place, who you're
Smell
with,
it.
different, strains, for example. If you're smoking the same strain constantly, then you get used to that strain.
Sorry guys, we are smelling some armpit key.
So it's
And this strain is speaking of strains.
Speaking of strain,
that strain's a GMO cross.
I was like, sorry, what?
I was like, oof.
It's called garlic cocktail. Beautiful strain. Beautiful strain.
It's a baby, huh?
Smells good. Yeah,
Whip it up in
Definitely
there,
has
buddy.
Psychedelics. Is that where you first learned about
Is it-
set and setting?
load some of that in there.
JJ?
Psychedelics,
Yeah, like
with,
set and setting. Was that where you
with
learned about that
psilocybin
too?
mushrooms.
Psilocybin. Hey man, psilocybin and cannabis, man, they're one of the craziest topics right now. I know a lot of homies and friends. I dabble myself a little bit in the therapeutic stuff. Psilocybin.
It's helped
medicine.
me tremendously,
Yeah.
along with
Hey.
cannabis.
Mhm.
Cannabis.
I gotta shout out LSD. LSD changed my life for the best. Had some amazing experiences on LSD too.
I've had some
Can't
great
lie.
experiences, but not as many. Like I've only done LSD like 3 times, so.
I
That
hear
sounds
it.
like a crazy one, man. I've yet to
But
try it.
mushroom-
man.
It's a unique experience.
Try it.
I think all psychedelics have their place.
For sure, huh?
especially-
What's the best setting for if you're
Comfortability.
I'm not advocating for LSD users, but
Hey,
what's up?
dude.
Put me on game.
Outdoors, pre-chopped fruit, coloring books, like
I got some coloring books.
Yeah.
He's
Pre-chopped
like
fruit.
He knows about it.
Wow.
yeah,
Hey. And this is all important because these are some positive things that we're talking about.
yeah.
Right? Positive
Those
things
go
that
great
pair
with
well.
mushrooms.
Coloring books, and these are childlike things if you
Yeah.
notice. When people talk about
Flow
reaching
arts,
into that
yeah.
inner child a little bit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
floors,
saying?
Because these psychedelics break
Kinda
that
tap
same
into that.
routine of
Bam!
everyday. This is the same shit. As soon when you're doing psychedelic, this is like
JJ
whoa,
just
this
hit the
is
dot,
new.
y'all.
What the hell? And so you feel like a
Amen.
child. You know what I mean?
Amen.
You're learning how to talk for the first time
Let's
again.
go.
Almost,
Yeah,
dude.
you know,
Let's
all those,
go.
all those
You're learning how to
new
communicate.
neural pathways in your brain is all
Yes.
opening up at once, just unreleasing your full potential.
Depending on how much you take, I mean, seriously.
You just
100,
said,
for
you just said
sure.
a great word. New neural pathways and the experience of new set and settings creating new neural pathways in your brain.
Mhm.
You're literally creating a new experience when you do something new.
Even driving, a different way home. If
Oh
you
my
drive the
gosh,
same-
let's talk
same
about
way
that.
home, drive
Let's
the
talk
same way
about
home
people
every
don't
time, it's
people.
the same
I
routine.
was talking about that with wifey. driving a different way home. I was like, yo, have you ever tried driving a different way home? You know, it creates literally a new pathway in your brain because you're challenging yourself to create a new mechanism
What's
on
this?
how to get
What's
home.
that?
Taking
Where-
the left or
where I
right.
go?
Yeah.
You know, training to do this, training to do that. I got to take this way home because I'm not using the same route of familiarity to get home every day.
Yeah,
What's safe, what I know, right? Now I got to actually figure it out. Now I got to put some thought into it. But it's a positive thought because it progresses you into getting you home.
Yeah, it all works the same.
You know what
it
I
all
mean?
works the same
Hey,
way.
pack that up, boy, with a bunch of that. You can use as much as you want.
He said, hit it.
Hey, this is UCC. We live loud.
We're vaping it up.
Yes, sir. So yeah, set and setting. We talked about a little bit about. We haven't touched too much on the entourage effect. It was a topic that we were talking about earlier that kind of dived into setting, but we're talking about health and recovery at the same time. Set and setting. You know, if you're recovery, if you're an athlete, man, it matters if you're consuming cannabis, man. Can a mom, can a dad, health and recovery, protein shakes. I don't know about protein shakes in cannabis. That'd be a really interesting market, right?
Wes.
Hemp. Said hemp protein. That West put us on, man. So what's the hemp cannabis world like?
RSO.
Ooh,
Alright.
RSO. Because it's like the future, man. Cannabis and recovery. That's like the future right there.
Yes. No, and I think that's probably one of the biggest things universally that everybody's using it for. I wouldn't say it's the number one reason. I don't think it's like the highest on the list, but I think overall everybody finds pain relief within consuming cannabis.
But on that, not just physically, but mentally.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? Like, not just physical pain relief, but also mental pain relief.
Yeah, yeah. It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
I heard somebody say the other day, like, you know, oh, I'm not addicted to cannabis. I'm addicted to pain relief. And this is the best pain relief I can get
There you go.
for my body.
Perfect.
It's true.
The most natural one out there.
And you know, that's what I use cannabis for is pain relief for sure.
And people don't know until they experience it.
Yeah, my doctor said, you know, oh, if you stay on growth hormone, you're less likely to get depressed. He says like, oh, if you get off growth hormone, I was on growth hormone since I was 3. Got off when I was 17, and he's like, people that get off this possibly, you know, get depressed, and people make this throughout their whole lives, you know, in their body, and he's like, you should, you know, I recommend staying on it, but I was like, get depressed, like, well, I'm using cannabis, I'm not getting.
It's a testament.
I'm not getting depressed, you know.
It's a
and
testament to the
it's a
plant.
lot cheaper than
Come on
growth
now.
hormone,
Amen.
but I mean, I would, you know, if I could afford that, I would definitely be on that too. But obviously, cannabis is there to help.
100.
You know what I mean?
100.
Physically, mentally.
How many people you know take smoke before they go to the gym? I know a lot.
A lot.
I know a lot.
How many
That's-
people
we all
you
got
know
our
smoke
lot.
after they go to the gym?
A
How
lot.
many people you know smoke before they go snowboarding? And they smoke at the top, and then they come back and smoke at the
And
bottom.
and in the
Or
middle
smoke
too.
in the middle, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's stop.
You stop in the middle, and then you
How
go
many
to-
coworkers you know that are blinkers, huh? I bet you don't know that your boss is a blinker, huh? You be hitting blinkies all the time.
Speaking about blinkies, where is that shit?
Speaking about blinky, should we all hit a blinky real quick? Everybody got your own little blinky?
Yeah, Blinky's
My
out.
girl's out, brother.
Don't worry.
You're hitting the
all
drive
good.
with key.
You'll be the first to hit the blinky.
Oh,
Maybe
boy.
like
Thank
10,
you.
15
Oh.
seconds, and then that
Yeah,
first
yeah,
whipper is
yeah.
going to be a whippersnapper.
Let
You know,
him
whippersnapper.
get that real. Let him
Cheers.
get that real.
Appreciate you, boys.
Cheers,
Hey,
brother.
man.
Bing, bing, bing,
Big,
bing.
big, big, man. We are out here.
Cheers, y'all.
Take a moment if you got a little something for yourself. Take a hit, man. Enjoy it.
Hey, if you have used cannabis in Utah, welcome to the club.
Welcome.
UCC,
Welcome.
what it is.
Welcome to the Utah Cannabis Club, man. The social club. We are out here again. We're visiting topics like the entourage effect a little bit. Talking about terpenes and cannabinoids. We're talking about set and setting. How you use your medicine. Where to use your medicine. Health and recovery. The benefits.
Yes.
How you going to the gym. Playing music. Learning a new instrument. Cooking. Interacting with your family, whether it men's relationships, there's a time and place for it, right? And individually, you gotta put work into finding that. right? It's not a one case fits all. What may fit for one of my good friends here, Wes, is so different for me. What might work for a JJ is different for me. So take that time. Take that time to find that profile that works for you. When you go to a dispensary, what are you shopping for? You know,
Yes.
I want some Gelato 33. Woo! Do you know what that Gelato 33 is gonna do when you get home? It might put you on your butt. You know what I mean? But that Jack Carrera might get you cleaning the house. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's little things like that. If you decide to get a Volcano, that's pretty expensive. Again, we're sipping on the vaporizer,
The
real
Da Vinci.
nice, the Da Vinci. Save up yourself for one if you need to get one. They're really beneficial. You might not get a hit again from the glass.
No, and I'd say it's really big having like good
Tasty, bro.
hardware as well. You know what I mean? It's good to have hardware, good glassware, and things like that for your overall health and consumption as well. You know what I mean? It makes a really big difference for the taste, the flavor that you get from your medicine, and the end result, because that ties into the entourage effect of what you are tasting.
Yeah.
And so I think the biggest thing and biggest takeaway is, I mean, everybody loves cannabis. I feel like I wish everybody loved cannabis.
Yeah.
But you know,
Everybody should.
I
love
think
cannabis.
everybody low-key wants to talk about it more and more. So reach out. Please reach out to friends, to people that you know that consume. You know to do it here. You know where to find us on Instagram, on YouTube, on
100%.
Twitch, we're on everything.
Reddit.
We will find a way. We're on everything.
Anywhere where you
to
can
answer
listen to a
your
podcast.
questions
Yeah.
because
we're
you
there.
want to help.
Yes.
Yeah. Tap in.
We got some rotation of some vaporizers, some carts in the rotation. It's been fantastic. It's been great.
Yeah, boys.
If you guys have any interest, there's a lot of great authors, books. Reach out, talk. Find your favorite strain, man.
Yeah.
My favorite strain right now, I think I got I don't know if I have a favorite strain, but I got a couple that I really want to find for some alleviation, some CBD.
Yeah.
You know, like I know Colorado, right? Like has some high CBD strains. You know, you got some Harley Quinn. You know, you got some Canatonic, right? You got some some Charlotte's Web,
Yep.
right?
Charlotte's
so,
Web's a big one.
so all these strains, man. I'm really excited for
Blackberry
this.
I like
Moonshine
to bring
and
that up.
Genetic that's
Yeah.
came out that's a 1-to-1 ratio.
So don't just be smoking strains. You know,
In the
just to
Q&A down there, you know, in Spotify's Q&A, let us know what's your favorite strain. Let us know down there
Yeah.
in the comment section.
We appreciate your guys' love. Once again, Gabe in here.
This is JJ.
Wes.
And this is Set, man. You